Good evening. You're watching this special telecast this evening as the controversy continues to spiral, some say in a sense out of control, in Jammu and Kashmir as allegations mount against the Omar Abdullah government and the opposition demands that the Chief Minister should quit. The controversy began when a national conference worker, Mohammed Yusuf, died in mysterious circumstances. Hours after a meeting with the Chief Minister and two other party workers, a meeting called by the Chief Minister after complaints arose that Mohammed Yusuf was asking for money in exchange for key positions in the government. Since then, there has been a spiraling controversy with one of the other witnesses claiming that when Mohammed Yusuf left the Chief Minister's house, he actually sat in the police jeep and began vomiting blood. Omar Abdullah has ordered a judicial probe. He says the allegations are baseless. But as we've said, the questions and the controversy is not showing any signs of receding. Let's go across live now to Srinagar, where we're joined by the Chief Minister, Mr. Omar Abdullah himself. Omar, we've heard you say very, very clearly that many of the allegations that have come to the surface are entirely baseless and that you believe a judicial probe will have the last word on this controversy. However, in the initial key and crucial hours after this incident, you had chosen the path of silence. I must ask you first, do you believe that's a mistake? Do you believe, looking back, that was a mistake? Because in a sense, the vacuum that created then has led since to all sorts of other theories, all sorts of allegations, all sorts of charges. Do you believe you mishandled it with your government remaining silent to begin with?
No, I believe I did the right thing. I respected the sanctity of the judicial inquiry that my government ordered. And I just wish others had respected that sanctity as well. Instead of trading charges and making allegations through the channels and across the airwaves, whatever had to be said should have been said to the Judicial Commission. That is exactly what they were there for. Instead, what you've seen is a constant sort of diet of trial by media where you are guilty until you're proven innocent, and a relentless sort of campaign that shows no signs of ebbing. In spite of the fact that every allegation becomes more and more ridiculous than the previous one.
Omar, let me start with some of the allegations, and we are giving you an absolutely fair, unedited platform to respond to them. Let's deal with some of the specific charges that have come up against you and your government. The first question that was raised by many in the opposition was, why did you choose, when it was brought to your attention that one of your own party workers was accused in a sense of taking money in return for key government posts, why did you choose to not hand over the case to the police immediately? Mehbooba Mufti says you were playing judge, jury and executioner, that in a sense you could have handed over the case to the crime branch to begin with instead of summoning this sort of informal court in your residence. How do you respond to that charge?
I think as a responsible individual, as a senior person of the party, a past president, and also as chief minister, I had an obligation to hear both sides to see whether there was actually any weight in the charges being leveled. Let's not forget that in the position that I find myself in, there are any number of cases where false allegations are brought to me. And if I handed over every single case where allegations were made to the crime branch, believe me, they'd have nothing else to do but to pursue cases that I hand over to them. And that's why, in order to ensure that what I was handing over to the crime branch was factually correct and that there was some justification to police action, I did the right thing. Don't forget, they were all three associated with the national conference, and therefore I had an obligation to hear them out, to see whether there was any truth to the allegations. And the moment I found not only was there truth to the allegations, but the sums of money involved were so astronomical that it really was a ripe case for the crime branch to investigate, I stepped out and handed the matter over to the crime branch. Why doesn't somebody just tell me what I did that was wrong? I mean, is taking cognizance of allegations of crime or allegations of corruption today in the Indian system wrong? Should I have ignored it? Should I have just let it go, or should I have dealt with it in a completely untransparent manner and tried to just hush it up and sweep it under the carpet? The fact of the matter is that I dealt with it in the most transparent manner possible, and even after the tragedy came to light and the death of Mohammed Yusuf was brought to our attention, again, I did the most transparent thing. I handed it over to a judicial commission of inquiry and I said the truth will speak for itself. Unfortunately, nobody else seems to be interested in that point of view.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.